welcome back. So this is going to be the start of a new video series that we want to put together for you guys about our track experiences at NASCAR events, mainly to give you guys an idea of what to expect if you decide to go out to one of these events. And our first stop is going to be at the Kansas Speedway, where we went to the Advent Health 400 race weekend.
Yeah, definitely. So a part of the videos we want to cover track info, obviously, the cost of how much it costs to go to a NASCAR race, the track town and what's around it, the midway, which is a big deal, pit road, all that stuff, what's unique to the track from each track that we've been to, the racing, of course, our favorite part, and then overall at the end we're going to give the track a rating out of 7 flags, so you know how good that track is.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
All right, awesome. So going right into track info. So as he said, we went to Kansas Speedway. So it is a 1.5 mile tri-oval, which is in Kansas City, Kansas, not Kansas City, Missouri. I messed that up. It hosts 2 races annually currently on the schedule. So we went to the race in May, as you were talking about, the Advent Health 400. They also host a playoff race in September, which is the middle race in the round of 16.
Yep.
So also it is owned by International Speedway Corporation, owned and operated, which it basically means that it's owned by NASCAR. So they own a couple tracks that we race currently, which is Darlington, Daytona, Homestead, Miami, Martinsville, Michigan, Phoenix, Richmond, and Watkins Glen, also our beloved Kansas, along with a couple other tracks that aren't on the schedule anymore. Chicagoland, which obviously we removed from the schedule. So But yeah, that basically just means that it's owned by NASCAR. So I thought that the experience at those tracks were different than like a family-owned track. So
yeah, very well put together tracks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I really liked, I thought like the fan experience was good. The facility was well maintained.
The facility was really nice.
Yeah,
yes.
For sure. Cool. All right. So we will go into the cost, how much it costs to go to a NASCAR race. I think that's probably a big reason why people are like, I can only afford a couple vacations. Like, should I be going to a NASCAR race? Mm-hmm. And I personally think that it's pretty affordable for the experience that you get.
Yeah.
Right. So.
It depends on how in depth you want to go too.
We
did the full package.
Yeah,
for the most part.
We did the whole thing. So we had tickets for the Cup, Truck, and ARCA. So there was no Xfinity Series racing, but we got tickets to all of those. We got pretty good seats actually. So our total for the seats altogether was $169 a person. Now keep in mind that is for 3 races. Right, and we had good seats too. So then we also paid for a campsite. So we were at the Phoenix campsite, which we'll attach a map and all of that in the description. But the Phoenix campsite, we paid $190 for the campsite. We arrived on Thursday morning, early morning. The track opened at 8
a.m.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we actually drove overnight. It's like a 6-hour drive for us. So we left and arrived like right when the track opened. But it was really to get the most of the experience, right? Because you have the campsite from Thursday morning all the way till Monday noon, I think was at the time that we had to leave. But thinking about how many days that is, I thought it was a pretty good deal. So
yeah, for sure.
And then we also did different tracks call this different things, but pre-race pass or whatever, Kansas called it the fan walk. Is what they called it. So for the Sunday infield pre-race pass fan walk, we paid $75 a person. And then for the ARCA and truck, it was $15, but that comes with the ticket. So overall, I mean, I think that it wasn't, too expensive compared to other ones. $449 a person just to attend the race. But again, we did get the whole package. So,
including a campsite and camper.
Campsite, yeah. So then obviously we did, we camped in a camper. They do have tent sites though.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that's an option for you guys too, which I know that the tent sites were a little cheaper, I think. You certainly don't have to do the fan walk. We'll talk about the fan walk, but, Yeah, and then obviously they had, cheaper seats, and it's really is a family area too. I think that was like, the biggest thing.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if you didn't want to do the camping, maybe you want to stay in a hotel outside the track. There was plenty of people who came in race day and parked out in the grass and
for sure,
did
lots
tailgating.
of parking. Yeah.
Did tailgating and whatnot, and then went to the race.
For sure.
There's a bunch of different
there's ways
options.
You can cut cost on that too. You know what I mean? But overall, I mean, I think that if you're, going to do the trip, we wanted to make the most of the experience. So, speaking of making the most of the experience, you definitely have to rent a scanner. So I actually own scanners. If you want to buy them, you can at the Racing Electronic booth. If you want to rent them when you get there, you have to make sure that you do it beforehand. So you want to talk about what you got and how much you paid?
So all I did was I went on Kansas Speedway's website, and they had in the ticket area you can choose to rent a scanner. It was $50 for the rental. Adding tax, it was about $62 altogether. They give you a scanner, which is pre-programmed, and it's all based on series. So there was the ARCA, the trucks, and the Cup. You can choose any driver and listen to their radio. You can choose MRN, listen to MRN's broadcast of the race. You can also connect to the NASCAR officials booth and listen to race control.
Which is nice if you're missing the play-by-play of watching a race at home, right?
Yeah, it makes up for it, especially MRN. It's really nice to have that while the race is going on.
Yeah.
Just kind of keeping, because you can't watch everything on the track. So they keep you informed what's going on around the track.
Yeah. Kansas is 1.5 miles. It's pretty small, so you can see a lot, but it is hard to know.
If you're focused on maybe your driver and what they're doing and not paying attention what's going in the mid-pack, they kind of
you take for granted the coverage on TV for sure when you're there, but doubles as ear protection too, which is super important. Do not go to a race without ear protection, please.
You need ear protection. Those cars are so much louder than
for sure.
you think they are.
But I would recommend, obviously if you're going to go to a lot of races, which is what I did, I just purchased it, which is, the packages vary. You can go to Racing Electronics and you can find it, or purchase it at the track. But renting is obviously, I thought it was a great deal for you because you got it the whole weekend.
And it was my first time using the scanner and just getting an idea of what the scanner is all about. It was a game changer. I loved it. It was great to have. It was really cool to be able, for the Cup race, I had it on William Byron's radio the whole time. I was listening to what was going on in their radio.
Yeah.
I
mean,
he
had some bad luck at Kansas.
Yeah,
so
there was a lot going on with William Byron in that race, and so it was really cool to listen to that and
so you could know what was going on.
Yeah, see what they were working on, trying to get him back up on top, and I mean he finished third, so it ended up being cool to have that.
Good. All right. Well, let's cover the track town. So I think, depending on the track that you go to, there's a few factors that you need to know about where you're going. I think number one is weather, packing for, different kind of weather that you're going to experience, which we've experienced every different type of weather under the sun at the tracks that I've been to, but also knowing what's around and easy access, right? Because, if you go to a track, you're like, well, shit, am I going to be able to go grocery shopping or whatever? So around Kansas, we got to eat Chipotle and drink Starbucks, and there's a lot of stuff around there. So it was a Target, we went shopping, Aldi's, so
Aldi's.
Liquor store was right there. It was, probably about 5-10 minute drive out of the campground. So, lots of easy access to get to stuff around there.
Yeah, for us, we didn't pack any food or anything to bring with. We just went to the grocery store and Target and picked up everything that we needed for the weekend. And
some tracks are out in the middle of straight up nowhere, but not Kansas. There's a lot of stuff around there.
It's become kind of like a city area around it, so it was really nice for that.
They do have driver appearances around there too, because there's some big stuff around there, right? So I called the Bass Pro Shops store to see if there was a Truex appearance, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff around there, so you could call to see if there's driver appearances around there, because drivers do that when we go to tracks. So and then weather, so I guess it depends on the time of year. I will say that the May race that we went to, super windy. Kansas is windy.
Yep.
Dusty.
Yes, it was super dusty. It hadn't rained there yet.
Yeah, so windy and dusty. So, preparing for that. And then it was very, very hot when we went there. Yeah. So I would say most of the races that I've been to are extremely hot, right?
Yeah.
So wearing a hat, bringing sunscreen. I have a little like fan with like a spray on it. Because it was in the mid 90s when we went there, you know, full sun, there's not a ton of shade. So, you know, definitely making sure that you're prepared for that when you go to a race, because that can kind of ruin your time if you're not prepared for, you know, the weather. Also, always bring a poncho.
Yeah,
You never know when it's going to happen, and they charge you like $15 at the track for it. Don't buy one there, just bring one.
Yeah, I found mine at CVS for $3,
Yes.
you know. But
it didn't rain, but I'm saying if you're going to a race, always just bring one,
just
right?
be prepared for it. Yeah, you don't want to be caught out in the rain with nothing.
For sure. Yeah.
Keep you dry. So.
For sure. So, all right, I think that's good about the track towns. So we'll cover the midway. So typically there's a lot of attractions when you go to races. Like they had the dog show. Sometimes they'll have like a BMX show around there. You know, they try to like bring different things to the track. This time I think the only at Kansas was they did the NASCAR Youth Series thing. So they had like a little mini track, and that was probably the only like attraction that wasn't a NASCAR attraction that was there.
We had Toyota had a big setup there for all their cars that they were
so whichever manufacturer sponsors the race, they always have like a big booth with like tons of. So we went to a race, Road America was like Chevy, so there's a bunch of Chevy, you know, whatever. So yeah, we got to see a bunch of Toyotas.
There was the NASCAR 75 experience, so they had a bunch of.
So if you go to a race this year, you'll get to see it.
They had a big old booth with some classic cars set up. They had like an actual cup car with the NASCAR 75 wrap on it, and I think they had race sims around too that you could.
The midway, yes, they did. They had the race sims. The midway is always so fun, and you need to block out some time in your race day to check it out. So if you're going only like driving in and going only for the Sunday race, plan ahead and check the track info to see what time the midway opens so you can get there. That's where all the fan merch haulers are.
Yep.
So you can get all of your merch there. There's, you know, tons of every team has one. Some drivers get their own, you know, whatever.
There's a NASCAR one. There's even one for the track if you want to get some.
Yeah, so like
details.
Kansas merch, and we got like a sticker, like whatever. So, but yeah, definitely always check out the midway. So in the midway, there's food also. Sorry,
it's also important to note that usually like the manufacturer's booth, or in this case the NASCAR 75 booth, will have driver interviews, and they post those in front of the booth, so you can
little like A-frame signs, you can kind of look for those, and they always have like Eric Jones at 3:00 and you know, whatever. So and
then they usually tend to do autographs in those. So if you show up early enough and you get up close, you can definitely catch your favorite driver.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So they had some food in the midway, but we'll also talk about food in the track too, because I think that's kind of part of like the midway. So, you know, if you're planning on eating and drinking at the track, you know, it is pretty expensive in Kansas. I would say it's not abnormally expensive, but, you know, they had like a bunch of barbecue joints. Of course, it's Kansas City. They had a King's Hawaiian area, which I thought was really cool. They did like barbecue on like King's Hawaiian, whatever. But, you know, if you're planning on drinking at the track, in the midway or in the track, making sure to, you know, bring money for that. Kansas also is cashless.
Yes.
So we had to...
have cards.
So which a lot of places are moving to that too. So just
a cool thing about Kansas though is they do allow you to bring in your own drinks and whatnot. So if you want to bring like
I think it's
over the shoulder
18
cooler.
by 18 by 18 soft-sided cooler. The specifications are on every track. If you go to their website and it's like plan your visit, it tells you what you can and cannot bring, right? So you can't bring drones, you can't bring like motorized vehicles, you can't bring knives or weapons or blah blah blah, right? But then it tells you what you can bring, coolers on there. We did a clear backpack also. There's a bunch of specifications on there too to look at. So
they just do it when you go into the track area. They just make you take everything off, and they do a little one over, and then
I would
if you have
recommend
nothing.
bringing water, you know,
Yeah.
alcohol if you're going to bring, especially because it was so hot, you know, you don't want to have to keep paying for bottles of water. So you can also pack a lunch in there, right?
Yeah.
And if you're camping, you know, it's a short walk to your campsite.
Yeah.
It was to ours. I don't know where you're camping, but yeah, I would recommend bringing the cooler because you can, right? So, I mean, what's the, you know, why would you not bring it in?
Yeah.
So,
Save yourself some money.
yeah, no kidding, right? Okay, good. So, going on to pit road. So, because we got the fan walk experience, we had some driver access, infield access, access to autographs, tech inspection, all of that.
Yeah.
So, I guess you want to talk a little bit about that. You were excited about the tech inspection.
Oh yeah, tech inspection. We got to be up close for like the first part of tech inspection. So they were like checking the underside of the car and making sure all the
No more templates.
Yeah, no more templates. It's all laser. We actually got to see him set it up. It was like right at the beginning, and they had some technical difficulties. I think they had to like push Chastain's car off the track.
Yes, they did.
So they have this like little track thing that they push the car up onto, and then they have this
crew
like,
chief is there.
yeah, crew chief,
all of them,
car
yeah.
engineers, pit road members, like it.
Yeah, and with our access, you got right there,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we were really, really close to it.
Yeah.
So,
And they at Kansas they had 2 sets. So the first one is like doing the underbody, and that's the part we got to see, and then they go back behind, and then there's the over the body scan that they have to do, but we didn't get to see that up close.
that's
anything.
like closed off, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. There was a lot of driver access, I would say. Like some tracks, the fences are very tall to go in the garage. So obviously with the fan walk, you know, pit road experience, you cannot go in the garage area. So that would be hot pass only. We had what some tracks qualify as a cold pass, which is essentially no garage access. But some tracks you don't really get a great view of the garage. I thought that the fan walk experience gave you a good view.
Yeah.
You know, because the fence was only up to like your waist, so you got to have like an uninterrupted view of that.
Yeah.
They had what we call autograph alley, which is where they, you know, walk along and you can, you know, hand your stuff to your driver.
Yeah.
But that was fenced off, right? So some places they do have like where they walk to driver intro or walk to the driver's meeting where you can catch your driver to have him sign. I didn't see much of that at Kansas.
No.
Yeah.
On race day there was a lot of people
Yeah,
lined
and
up
it
out
was
there.
busy
Yeah.
there, like
Yeah.
sardines, man. It was like lots of people.
I tried to stand there for a while. It was just
Yeah.
it was getting too crowded, and I was like, I
Yeah.
kind of want to get to my seat. So and then I wanted to experience more of like the infield and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you know, you don't have to do it, but
Yeah.
if you really want to, you can.
You certainly can, yeah. So I thought driver access was good. Car access, I mean, I thought you got a lot of good shots of it.
Yeah.
Autographs, like I mentioned. You get to see tech inspections, which sometimes it's hard to get to at some tracks. So I thought that the fan walk experience was worth, I mean, it's $75 a person, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was worth it. You got to go on the track. You got to sign
The start finish line,
the
walls.
start finish line, yeah. all
They
that.
had a concert going on pre-race for the Cup race.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they had that going. There was people everywhere just taking pictures. You got really cool pictures of the track.
For sure, yeah,
from the
because you got
inside.
to walk on the track, which was really cool. So I would recommend that. I mean, especially like if you're, you know, taking kids or it's your first time,
Yeah.
you know, if you enjoy it, I thought it was worth the money, you
Yeah.
know.
For sure.
There were some races which we'll cover. I don't think the fan walk is worth the money, but this one I actually did think it was. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. Cool. So, things that are unique to the track. So, Kansas, I think it's very obvious because it's the Hollywood Casino 400 normally. So,
Yeah.
there's a big ass casino right next to the track.
Yeah, it overlooks turns 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They have it's a fully functioning casino. We went there for a couple
We couldn't
days.
get up there though. There's obviously like rich ass seats where you can watch it from inside and you know whatever. But
from the windows.
the escalators were cut off when we were there, so we couldn't go up
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah, they have slots. They have blackjack, poker. They also have this huge Barstool's sports betting
yes,
area.
yeah,
So if you're
you
into
play some
sports-
bets
yeah,
on the race.
did
Yeah,
not go well. For
no,
me.
but
No.
it was still fun.
It was
right?
a cool thing.
Yeah.
I've never gotten to do that before,
Yeah.
so it was fun to try it and just check it out. I mean, it was relatively straightforward and easy to do. They have a little kiosk that you walk up to. You pick your sporting event.
You can bet on a bunch of different stuff,
Yeah,
too, which I thought was really cool.
Bet on
but
top 5, race winner. They had head-to-heads, who's going to finish ahead of who.
Yeah.
Manufacturer that's going to win. Stuff like that. It was really cool.
It was a nice casino, too.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah. So another thing that's unique, and speaking of the casino, is that there's tram and bus rides around. So there's stops, and if you go to the Kansas Speedway website, you can see there's a map of all the trams. So they have buses, air conditioned, that will take you, if you want to go to the casino, you want to place a bet, which I thought was really cool because, some tracks that we go to, like, I will tell you, no matter what track you're going to, bring your walking shoes, baby, because you are walking everywhere, and it's a lot of walking, and it's hot, right? So, it can be strenuous on some people. I mean, I'm one of them. I don't handle the heat very well, so, like, that's what I'm telling you guys, like, make sure. But the tram, they have these, like, Toyota trucks that pull these, like, seats or whatever, like tram seats, where you can go, like, we took, like, a tour around. It'll bring you to the infield, bring you back around to the campsites. There's certain stops, so you can look at the map. And then I like that it took you to the casino, too, which is really cool. It takes you, like, to the front door of the casino.
Door of the casino, back to the midway.
Midway, yeah.
Down into the infield. Like, there was a bunch of different stops that it had, and it was really nice.
It was super nice.
Compared to the other tracks I've been to. Like,
this is the only track I have seen with the tram. I haven't seen any other track with the tram before.
Definitely.
As a way to get around
for that track.
And the people that work there are so nice too. Like, they were, waiting for people, and they were, telling you where to go. Like, before you got on it, they're like, okay, it goes here and here. So I thought it was easy to navigate. So, all right, now let's talk about the whole reason we went there: the racing.
Great racing. Kansas
honestly
was such a good race.
A lot of people are saying that Kansas has been the best race of the year so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Bob's, which I loved his, like, mid-season, awards or whatever. He said he thought Kansas was the best race.
Yeah.
And I would agree. The racing was... It was hot. It was slick. It was fast. There was a lot of passing. Like,
the restarts are insane. Those were my favorite parts of the races.
It was really good racing. So, obviously the truck race I thought was really good. That was at night, which was nice to watch because I mean, you didn't have the sun blasting you in the face the whole time. And the
cool thing about, like, the truck race or any lower series race, if you go to a cup race weekend and you get tickets for the lower series race, not everyone goes to that race.
Kind of sit wherever you want.
You kind of get to sit wherever you want. So we got to sit.
Some people are kind of shisty, though. So if you pick a spot and you're in their seat, then some people are kind of not cool with that. So
you
just be careful.
Move,
but you just move to but the stands are fairly empty, like you said.
Yeah.
So
you can get a maybe better seat, a closer seat to the track if you want.
I think it's a great time to scout seats for maybe your next trip.
Oh,
totally. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's a great idea.
Yeah, no, the truck race was a lot of fun to watch. We didn't go to the ARCA race.
We were doing something.
We were, like, checking out Midway, going to the casino, doing some other stuff. Yeah. So, got to watch practice. Yeah. For both the trucks.
Yeah, definitely check the track schedule because you can see practice, qualifying on every series because, you come on Thursday, when the track opens. If you go on Thursday when the track opens, you can see everything. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So practice and qualifying was really cool to watch. It's kind of funny. I remember sitting there during qualifying, and they do, like, a run of qualifying, and then they stop, and you kind of forget that they're broadcasting this on TV. They do the commercial break, and you're like, the commercial break. So.
This was still a Fox race.
Yeah.
So
still a Fox race. Yes. I don't know what
it's just too easy.
Yeah, but. Fox is just too easy to poke fun at. But it was just really cool. And then if you have the scanner during qualifying and practice, I mean, you get a better idea what's going on with the drivers and what they're dealing with on the track. And
I would say the racing at Kansas, out of all of the races that I've been to, it was the best racing at Kansas.
Yeah.
With the last lap pass, for the win. Like, I thought it was the most exciting. Like, I was, at the edge of my seat, you know,
Yeah,
the whole time,
definitely.
standing up most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was, you know, it was really cool. So
We can't forget the end of the race shenanigans.
yes,
we had
so we
little
saw a
bit of-
little scuffle on
little
pit road.
scuffle on pit road, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool. Like, you don't
Noah
get to see
Gregson
that.
and Ross Chastain.
Yeah,
so.
unfortunately, Groggy got the worst end of that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I think he could have taken him
oh, definitely if that guy
Yeah.
didn't step in.
for sure.
But yeah,
But yeah, overall, I mean, I thought that the race was,
No.
you know, yeah,
it was amazing.
good racing. So, all right. So our favorite part of
Oh,
the
yes.
race. So, my favorite part, and I will tell anybody, any race that you go to. So, Bob Pockrisk does what you call a tweet up. And that is where, like, he will meet and you can, you know, chat with him and whatever before the race. So he tweets it out, obviously. But that was my favorite part. He talked to me individually, asked me about Truex. That was really fun.
Got to shake his hand.
Got to shake his hand. We
Take
got a
picture
picture.
with him. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like, he's so cool.
Yeah.
It was like, that was definitely probably my favorite part.
Yeah, they were asking us questions.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, getting our feedback on
Yeah.
stuff that was going on in the industry, and
Right.
it was cool to get
It
their
was
opinion.
nice. Yeah, it was cool to, like, I mean, we were talking about, like, high level topics, right? It wasn't just like our favorite driver. Like, we talked about news and, you know, manufacturer changes. We were talking about legacy switching to Toyota. We were talking about, you know, it was just so cool. There was, like, the fans that go to that want to talk about NASCAR, and I think that was, like, so relevant to the
Yeah.
podcast at the time, especially because we were like, okay, like, you know, there are people that want to hear us talk about not just like, oh, you know, like, whatever.
Who's
you
your
know,
favorite driver?
Who's your favorite driver?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, it was like, you know, it was so awesome to hear. He had, like, you know, some people that were with him. I think some, you know, smaller podcasts, someone from, like, a motorsports magazine was with him.
Yeah,
so.
Jeff Gluck, who
Jeff Gluck, yeah.
is a reporter for The Athletic. He does NASCAR for The Athletic.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Yeah, he
He's
has a
super
Twitter
cool,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he was really
I know
cool
Bob
to
steals
talk
the
to.
show, but he's super cool
Yeah,
too. So.
Jeff was cool too. So
Yeah, but yeah, that was my favorite part. So what's your favorite part?
my favorite part had to be using the scanner. Like that was my favorite thing. It made it such a more exciting experience, more in-depth experience. It was just, it was cool to have that extra layer to
That's
the race
awesome.
weekend. So yeah, that was my favorite.
I love that. Race control. Do you have
Race
a favorite part?
Yeah.
My favorite part would probably have to be the truck race. I think night races are very, very fun, and it's, especially when you're camping, it's just super nice to be able to have a lot of adult beverages and watch a good race.
Yeah,
And
the margarita stand isn't there at Kansas anymore because Race Control drank it.
it's just all the right vibes.
Yeah.
It's much easier to drink when it's not 95 degrees.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah, I would say that is such a great point going to a night race.
It was a nice, cool evening night.
And you didn't have to worry about getting home. Like, there was a
Right.
ton of traffic trying to get out, and we were just like rolling back to our campsite,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like, it was super awesome.
Yeah, it was
Continued the party there. I would say the fan experience, like, at the campground, there was a lot of really fun people camping there
Yeah.
too. That's like one of the really, like, the coolest parts about
Yeah,
camping.
if you're a diehard NASCAR fan, doing the camping experience is fantastic because that's all there is there. You know, there's
Yeah.
diehard NASCAR fans, and everybody brings their flags and T-shirts, and
your
you know, they're-
grills
yeah,
and
you're
your
doing yard games, and you're, you know, having soda pops with the boys, and
absolutely
it's just a great time.
Couple
Yeah.
of soda pops with the boys.
Yeah. Our kind of people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and one other thing about the campsite, I guess I forgot to mention. At the Kansas campsites, they do have showers. So if if you need to shower,
They were good too, right?
And they were really good showers.
Go in there early because that shit fills up fast.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
plan to shower like right when it
Bring
opens.
shower shoes, flip flops or something.
Yeah,
They
gross.
did have hot water. It was
Yeah.
nice.
So if you don't want to shower in your camper,
Yeah,
or you can scrub it the whole weekend. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
that's-
Put on a hat.
no one's gonna judge.
Wear some deodorant. All right. So, like we said in the beginning, we want to give each track an overall rating out of 7 flags. So we think that we're going to rate Kansas
6 flags.
6 out of 7 flags.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I would say it was really good.
It was way better than I expected.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's hard to get a 7 out of 7, so don't take it personally, Kansas.
Yeah.
We love you,
Yeah.
and we will go back.
Yes.
So
We will definitely go back someday.
we'll be returning. So, all right. Well, that was it for us.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Leave some comments. If you have any questions you want us to answer, we would love to answer any questions about, Kansas Speedway or our experience, or if you're going and need, advice on planning the trip, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
All
for
right.
watching, guys.
Thanks, guys.